Yes, sir.
3 questions. I'd like to know your position on cap and trade,
Opposed?
amnesty, and card check.
Cap and trade.
Amnesty,
Amnesty.
and card check.
Okay, I'm opposed to card check, I'm opposed to cap and trade, and I'm opposed to amnesty.
1,000%. Thank
Was that direct enough?
you. That's what we need.
Because I got to tell you, yeah, people want direct answers to specific questions. And again, as I've said, we may not always agree on every issue, but I'm going to be as honest and direct with you as I possibly can because I think you deserve that in your member of Congress.
A follow-up to his question about amnesty. Would you deport people who are here illegally?
Look, we've got over 14 million illegal immigrants. I don't believe that you should come to this country illegally. I believe that if you come to this country, you should immigrate legally, like many people did, like parts of my family did, like I'm sure many members of your family did. So I do think that people who are living here illegally should be returned to their home countries. And if they want to come to our country legally, go through that legal process like every other person has done before them. I think that's
Yes, I have a question. The most important thing to me is most of the people in this country, more than the majority of the country, is we don't want the government to take over our health care. And what I like is for the government to allow the over 1,300 companies to do business in all 50 states. Competition will drive the price of our best in the world already health care. But Barack Hussein Obama voted against this when he was in the Senate to allow the over 1,300 companies to do business in all 50 states. People aren't talking about this, but if you really want to lower the price, you said solution-based idea, here it is, the best one I've ever heard. Allow the over 1,300 companies to do business in the 50 states. Look at what the competition does in every other arena. It drives the price down. Thank you very much. I'd like to hear
Sure.
people introduce a bill to, and of course we know the libs are going to vote against it.
Well, how you buy car insurance is how we should be able to access health insurance. You are not restricted when you buy car insurance to just companies that do business in New Hampshire. You can actually go on websites. You see commercials on TV, that there are transparent websites that show you different prices from different companies. I believe that you should have that ability to buy, whether you live in New Hampshire or the company is located in Massachusetts or Iowa for that matter. And you're absolutely right, that would reduce cost immediately because competition and a market-driven solution, I think, is the answer. Now, the response that I get is, well, we're a network-based system. We are a network-based system. And guess what? If you allow other companies from other parts of the country to do business here, they will create networks that are just as strong and just as competitive as the ones that exist today. And you will see immediately costs come down. But beyond that, and there's a couple of pieces of legislation that could be filed today. When we look at healthcare reform right now on a federal level, we are looking at a massive change. It's a one-size-fits-all approach. We have about, of the 45 million people who are uninsured in our country, we have about 12 million who truly can't access it because of affordability issues. That's the problem. The other problem is the affordability for the rest of us. So there are two major issues that I think we should be focusing on. And market-driven solutions and competitive approach, I think, will bring both of those into line. Now, if you're a small business owner in New Hampshire, here's one thing that I hear from small business owners all the time. Right now, if you have less than 100 employees, you are considered a small business. And you cannot compete with a company that has more than 100 employees. So your cost for the same coverage is different. There is no reason that you should not be able to pool your resources together if you're a small business to exceed that 100 employee limit and thereby reducing your health insurance costs by as much as 20% immediately. That's not being done. It should be done. And that would help New Hampshire, which is a small business state. 95% of our business is small business. If you just noticed this week, our unemployment rate in New Hampshire has now doubled in the last year and a half to 7%. And that's considered good. In this economy, nationally, a 7% unemployment rate is actually considered good by national standards. But ask those 7% of those people who are unemployed if they think it's good and what they need to get their job, to be able to put food on their table, and to be able to provide for their family. They need access to a job, and with the overbearing cost of government, they're not going to get that anytime soon. I think one of the most important things that happened in Tuesday's election in Massachusetts was that, and let's remember, there's 1 million more Democrats registered in Massachusetts, 1 million more than either Republicans or Independents. They stood up and said, we've tried universal, our version of universal health care. We don't like it. It's bankrupting the state. It's not providing what people anticipated or expected. It's costing more money. And Massachusetts is further in the hole because of it. And they stood up and they sent a message to the nation. And let me tell you, if it can happen in Massachusetts, where it hasn't happened in over 30 years, it can happen anywhere in the country. But we've got to, absolutely have to keep our elected officials, people who are running for office, accountable on every single issue. Every single issue. It's one of the things that I did as mayor. It's not always easy standing before a group of people who may disagree with you on an issue. But I believe, firmly believe, that you have a responsibility as an elected representative, whether it's as a selectman, an alderman, a state representative, a state senator, a congressman, or a governor, or a U.S. senator. You have a responsibility to your constituency to hear them. And many times have I been in a room with not 100, not 200, but 1,000 people who wanted to voice their opinion on the budgets that I proposed. Some of them agreed with me, a lot of them didn't. But I was always honest with people, and I said, I'm going to cut budgets, I'm going to reshape how we spend, I'm going to cut taxes, I'm going to cut spending, I'm going to prioritize the money that is provided by the taxpayers. And the key is where this money is coming from. This money is your money. It's not the government's money. It's not Bedford's money, it's not Manchester's money, it's not Concord's money, it's not Washington's money. This is your money that elected representatives are spending. Just this week, how many people heard that the Senate is taking up the debt ceiling issue? They're going to expand the debt ceiling, they're considering it, by 1.9 up to $14.3 trillion. We're talking about numbers that we don't even understand. And they're considering these increases. Considering these increases without considering what the result and ramification is to us today and to our family and our future children of our state and our country. And I don't believe we can let it stand. Next question. Yes, sir.